Hey, welcome. Today, we're digging into that weird, nagging feeling. You know the one. The one that whispers that you've done everything right, you've checked all the boxes, but something still feels off. We're going to go on a little journey to figure out exactly what's missing.
Does this hit close to home? You've built the life you were supposed to build. You got the career, took on the responsibilities, you've got the image down pat. And from the outside, everything looks just fine. But inside, there's this quietness. And it's not peaceful, right? It's more of a quiet emptiness. Now, here's the thing. That feeling, it is not a sign that you failed, not at all. It's a signal. It's a message from a part of you that actually remembers who you were before the world started telling you who you should be.
So where does this disconnect even come from? Well, to find the answer, we've got to look at the very first mask we ever learned to put on. That version of ourselves we built for everyone else, just hoping it would be accepted, even if it wasn't really us.
The psychologist Carl Jung had a name for this. He called it the persona. And look, the persona isn't a bad thing. It's actually a brilliant tool for survival. You used it to fit in, you adjusted to be safe, and for a long time, it probably worked perfectly. It's the you that smiles at the neighbors, stays polite in that draining meeting, and just keeps the peace at the dinner table. It's the part of you that says, "I'm fine," when you are anything but. The only problem is, it was never ever meant to be your entire identity. This right here, this shows the fundamental choice that ends up shaping our entire lives. Just think back for a second to some of your biggest decisions. Were you asking yourself, what do I truly deep down want? Or were you asking, what's the right thing to do here? According to everyone else. See, one question leads to your truth. The other one, it leads to a performance. And let me tell you, living a performance is absolutely exhausting. It creates this constant low-grade buzz of static inside, that friction between who you really are and who you're pretending to be.
And that's the trap, isn't it? You play a role for so long, maybe you're the strong one or the reliable one, the one who never needs any help, that you kind of forget it's just a role. The world cheers for the performance, so why would you question the script? You wake up, you step into character, and you call it your life. And slowly but surely, you start to mistake that mask for your actual face.
But this performance, it isn't free. Oh no. There's a really steep price to pay for living a life that feels like you borrowed it from someone else instead of one you actually own. Jung's warning just hits the nail on the head. The real danger isn't putting on the mask to get through the day. We all do that sometimes. The danger is when the mask gets so stuck to your identity that you forget who you are underneath it all. That's when your real self gets lost in the shuffle.
So what does this cost actually feel like in daily life? Well, it's that hollow feeling, even when you're technically successful. It's going through your day on autopilot, totally disconnected. You start living from the outside in, making choices based on what other people expect, not what feels true to you. And maybe the worst part, you're surrounded by people, but you feel completely unseen. Because the person they're all seeing, it isn't the real you.
When you boil it all down, it's a trade-off. You give away little pieces of your truth in exchange for acceptance. You nod along when you really want to speak up. You say yes when your whole being is screaming no. And every single time you choose their comfort over your own authenticity, you are slowly and silently abandoning yourself.
But it is not too late, not even close. The real journey, the good part, it starts the second you decide to stop pretending. So let's talk about how to meet the person who's been waiting so patiently for you to finally come home, your true self.
Jung called this core essence the self. And this isn't your ego, okay? The ego wants to prove itself. And it's not your persona, which just wants to fit in. The self is your true center. It's that part of you that just knows when something feels right and when it feels wrong. It's that quiet whisper of intuition when the world is screaming at you. It may have been silenced for a while, but trust me, it is never, ever gone away. The journey back to you doesn't start with some big, dramatic explosion. It starts with a really quiet but incredibly powerful moment of honesty. You look at the job you can't stand, the smile you've been faking, the life that checks all the boxes but leaves your soul empty, the moment you can just look at it all and finally admit to yourself, this isn't me. That's not a moment of weakness. That is the beginning of real strength. Okay, so you've had that thought. You've admitted it. Now what? Well, this next part is all about action. We're going to walk through some concrete, practical steps and habits to start this journey home to yourself, and you can start, right now. But first, let's just get one thing straight. The mask didn't get glued on overnight, so it's not going to vanish overnight either. It comes off the exact same way it was put on. One small question, one honest answer, one authentic choice at a time. This is a gradual process of remembering who you are, not some sudden, dramatic transformation.
All right, let's make this real with a quick exercise. If you can, grab a piece of paper. First step, I want you to list 5 things you do, not because they feel true to you, but just to keep other people happy or to avoid conflict. Step 2, look at that list, really look at it, and ask yourself, honestly, is any of this actually me? Step 3, release it, let it go. The source even suggests burning the list, which can be a pretty powerful symbolic act. And finally, step 4, claim your truth. Write down one small, honest thing you want to do, just for you. That's it. That's the first step on the path.
Now, to keep this going, let's talk about 5 simple habits. First, practice small truths. When someone asks how you are, instead of the automatic, I'm fine, try something real, like, it's been a rough week. It's a tiny act, but it rebuilds that connection to your inner world. Second, say no when you mean no. This isn't about being rude, it's about honoring your own energy and your boundaries. Third, start changing your big question from what should I do to what feels true. This is like recalibrating your inner compass. Fourth, speak your truth, but do it gently. Being authentic doesn't mean you have to be aggressive, it just requires honesty. And fifth, choose presence over performance. Just for a few minutes a day, stop acting and just be.
Now, as you start doing this stuff, you're going to notice 2 things. First, you'll feel lighter. Seriously, it's like taking off a heavy coat you didn't even know you were wearing. But right behind that lightness, you're also going to feel this quiet fear, this vulnerability of being seen without your armor, without your mask. Don't let that stop you. In fact, that feeling, that's your proof. That's how you know it's working. Because right on the other side of that fear is your freedom.
So we end with a choice. Really, it's the only one that truly matters. The script they handed you is familiar, it's comfortable, but the life that's actually waiting for you is yours. So the question is, will you keep playing the role that made everyone else comfortable but left you feeling empty? Or will you risk being seen so you can finally truly be known? Will you choose to be real? That choice and the incredible life that follows is completely up to you.